Seeing people in power and authority figures creating laws and bills that are actively trying to harm us transhumans, especially trans children. Mr. President, this is my 221st day of publicly transitioning.
God love you.
Do you think states should have a right to ban gender-affirming health care?
I don't think any state or anybody should have the right to do that. Sometimes they try to block you from being able to access certain medicines, being able to access certain procedures, and so on. None of that should be available. I mean, no state should be able to do that.
Well, in that interview with trans activist Dylan Mulvaney, President Biden condemned states for restricting sex change procedures on children.
Related story, perhaps. Parents lose custody after an Indiana court rules not affirming their child's gender identity is abuse.
Wow.
Let's get back to our panel. Tony, your thoughts here.
Yeah, I'm not totally up on the Indiana case. Being an Indiana radio host, I certainly will be by this time tomorrow morning. But the idea that somehow children should be allowed to go through these kinds of procedures is, of course, something we need to aggressively fight against. The abuse is the other way. The abuse is allowing this to happen. And I get that there are parents involved and, the parents decided this was okay. We don't allow parents to abuse their children. We stand up against it. We say something. We make phone calls to places to try and get it to stop. This isn't about whether or not you love your children. It's about loving your children enough not to put them under a knife, not to put them through medical procedures, not to give them medicines that change them, that things that are indeed irreversible. If you love your children enough, and I say this as a parent, never having gone through this, but I would say it anyway, you have to tell your child that you got to wait till you're an adult if you're going to go through this, because things indeed change. I didn't say it wasn't tough. I didn't say it wasn't difficult. And I'm not saying there aren't going to be parents who say, who the hell do you think you are, Tony? I'm a guy who stands in a conviction. And the conviction is you can't let children do this. You can't have the idea of being pro-mutilation. It's wrong, and we have to stand up.
Yeah, Aaron, your thoughts on this? Again, parents losing custody for this.
Yeah, one thing I would point to is the question that was asked of the president was, do you support states not allowing gender-affirming care? It wasn't within the context of children, so that's a very open-ended question. And he didn't specifically address the child issue there, so he kind of skirted the issue just a little bit. But that to say, if a child was 8 years old and their parent, and they said they wanted a tattoo and they were brought to a tattoo parlor and were allowed to get one for some means, that parent would get in so much trouble for that. But now that we're having a conversation about drugs that will ultimately lead to outcomes for children that could be unreversible, that's now considered abuse when you aren't willing to do that. This is an obscene conversation that we're having when it comes to the treatment of children in this country. If I can't drag a kid to get a tattoo, why in God's green earth would I be able as a parent, and I'm not one, but when that day comes, be able to say at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 years old that now's the appropriate time for them to try and radically alter their genetic makeup to change who they are. I mean, it's an obscene conversation.
Let's take a look at a different type of transgender news. Cancel culture has set its sights on a new target. It is now trying to cancel white chicks.
Yeah, and by white chicks, we mean White Chicks, the 2004 comedy starring Marlon Wayans. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was something completely different.
No.
Not all of them. Just these.
Yeah, but Marlon and his brother Sean play two FBI agents. They go undercover as white women to stop a kidnapping. If you never saw it, here's a clip.
Yo, what's up, money? You got a problem? Nah, yo, hold my poodle. Huh? Hold my poodle, dog. What, you want some of this? You want some of this? Mark, you don't want none of this, son? I'll take the both of you. Let's kick it.
In response to the left, though, Marlon Wayans had this to say.
It's sad that society is in this place where we can't laugh anymore. That's where we are, it seems, Stacey. If you don't like the movie, don't see it.
Right. So White Chicks, the movie, what's interesting about it is it was an insanely silly movie back then. And I don't know that I really enjoyed it, but of course I saw it because I don't know anybody who didn't actually go watch the movie. But the issue here is that the Wayans brothers they're known for irreverent comedy, and they're highlighting a real phenomenon right now, which is that the left is taking all the fun out of everything. So they're putting the sex into everything, even the kids, and they're taking the fun out of everything. And I can't let this go by without pointing out that the National Institute and we're talking about the National Health System in Great Britain, has now issued a warning that transgender and gender dysphoria, these types of phenomenon among children, are transitory, and they shouldn't do anything about it until a child has reached the age of majority. So they're acknowledging what parents like myself already know, which is that children go through phases. Their entire childhood is a series of phases. So let's get the fun back in and take the sex out. That's what I say we should do.
Yeah. All right. Well put. Thank you very much, Aaron, Tony. No cigar today, it looks like. And
there's time.
Stacey,
there's time. We'll be fine.
Okay. And Stacey, thank you so much.